So this is May 2024, and even for November 24, you can use this same one. See, your objective is to attempt 80 marks. If you are attempting 80 marks of the paper, the best. 99% you will get 60 plus for sure. If at all, you strictly studied this entire syllabus honestly. Without looking for any shortcuts, it will not work, even though getting it. So if without looking for shortcuts, if you prepare the following chapters which I'm saying, for sure, confidently you can write. As we have seen in this weightage, this entire weightage is divided into 5 sections. This entire weightage is broadly divided into 5 sections. If you observe, it's not modules, actually it's sections. They divided the entire 19 chapters in the CA final book into 5 sections. First section is completely 1 to 11 chapters, that is standards. Okay, so which will occupy minimum 45%, maximum 55, but 60 to 70 marks weightage. On a conservative note, 55 let us 55 marks only you will get. So entire engagement and quality control standards in our material, smart notes, these are the chapter numbers dealing with all the standards. These will occupy 55 marks for sure. And the next chapter is ethics that you must focus on. So in the ethics, the weightage is approximately, that's one section complete out of the 5 sections. That itself is one section. Approximately minimum 20% they are asking, means somewhere I can say 20 marks you are getting. If you study these topics itself, you will end up getting 75 marks. Now, in order to avoid that contingency within the standards, see, I'm telling you, not just standards, even ethics also, the last tough questions. I'll tell you one question. The auditor has not, the peer review certificate was not available during the signing period. What is the consequence? Something like that. There is a practical question which they ask. Everybody wrote peer review cancellation answer, but the answer is clause number 9 in ethics chapter, part 1, schedule 2. Failure to comply with generally accepted auditing principles. Getting it? Gap failure. That answer, that is the actual answer. I think part 1, schedule 1 only. Failure to comply audit with the gap principles. That point is that schedule 2 only. Okay. So clause number 9, that is what they tested, because in institute that is one point itself is given. Example given, peer review certificate if it's not there, it comes under a failure to comply with gap. One example, that example is given as a 4 marks theory question. So institute expected there you should write like that. We can't guarantee that ethics questions will be easy, that auditing questions will be tough. There is no such rule. So anyway it can be. Now next, the next best chapters I'll tell you, which are easy for understanding, easy to revise, easy to remember. In that context I will. Okay. Section 3, if you see, that will have 20% weightage. Approximately, okay, 20% means let us assume 20 to 30 marks maximum. Sorry, 20 to 25 marks weightage. These chapters, PSU audit, internal audit, due diligence investigation, forensic account. All these chapters put together, approximately 150 pages content will be there. So for that, 20 marks is the weightage. So if you want to study this entire section, you have to study. Else, you have to leave this entire section. This is one option. Within this, like I will ignore forensics, because these 3 chapters put together is treated as one chapter. Due diligence, investigation, forensic together treated as one chapter. Okay. So, and you know very well how vague it is. The content is very like high ambiguity. Like you feel like confusion. You're reading the same para again and again. Yes or no? Tax due diligence, financial due diligence, comprehensive full due diligence. So many types were there. When you're reading, you feel like everything is same. If at all you don't want to go with this, you can go with the section 2, digital audit, group audit, bank audit, NBFC audit, which will have a weightage of 6%. But again, here again the point is, bank audit is having so much content. Almost some 80 to 90 pages content is there. Because audit of assets, audit of liabilities, that and all were discussed. How to audit liabilities of a bank, how to do audit of it. But I felt this bank audit, NBFC audit, group audit, and even digital auditing, I don't think they may stick with this. They may stick, because generally many times how it comes, digital audit, 5 marks question, it comes generally, automated environment. The group audit, CFS audit, for sure every time 5 marks question comes. Bank audit, NBFC audit, put together 5 marks question comes. 15 marks is the weightage which is given actually, earlier also. But suddenly they decreased it to 5%, means obviously 7-8 marks. We don't know how far they stick to this pattern. We are not sure whether they'll follow exactly this pattern or not. So here, depending upon your plus and minus, you know very well whether in which part you are comfortable at. Getting it? So if you want to ignore, you can either ignore section 2 or you can ignore section 3. Any one you can ignore. If at all you are ignoring section 3, you have to study section 2 and section 4 both. Are you getting it? They have given 5 sections totally, right? 3 sections you study minimum. The third section should be either lengthy section or 2 short sections. Like emerging area, sustainable development goals, environment, social, governance audit. You try reading this. This is a plain reading. No explanation is required actually for this. This chapter is something, it's a general knowledge oriented chapter. This is not something I can sit and explain standards, auditing. No, that and all, audit and all is not there in this. This is complete dealing about, I told as already, climate related discussion, all that. If you want to take, 5 marks minimum will be there from this chapter. But I think, like I don't know how much time it takes, depends on person to person. How far you have that understanding of the global climate change, all that, like what is happening in the global level on these summits and all. If you have an idea, for you it will be interesting. But I'm telling you, the content covered is very interesting content. But how far you are able to digest it to this point, and I'm unable to decide how the questions will also be asked in exam on this. 99% straight questions, no complications. Avvala skill and all examiner will not have on this chapter to design a practical question. Getting it? So 19. So if you want, you can select this also, and you can select section 2, which you are very familiar with. Group audits and all you are familiar. Digital audit is bit easy only, not so complicated, bit easier only. Otherwise, you have to go with this PSU audit, which is tough. I'm telling PSU audit is one of the tough chapter in entire CA final. If you think it is easy, means you didn't understand it. Internal audit is lengthy. And I think now only internal audit provisions were covered. In this SA 610 is also covered again. This is quite easy. Okay, internal audit is a small chapter. This is quite easy. Getting it? You can do internal audit because they only talk Companies Act, what is scope of internal audit, relationship between all this, basics of internal audit standard. They only discuss list of SIAs, standards on internal audit, list all that they give. I think I will put internal audit. Internal audit. For this attempt, first priority chapter, internal audit. Another chapter, what we will select is PSU is a bit difficult. Instead of PSU, you spend time on due diligence, forensic, all this. These will have high weightage. They are saying 20 marks right from this section. So in this entire section, what I recommend you, if at all you want to, is you can ignore PSU audit. PSU audit, I'm telling you, it is difficult. It will take time for you. In the sense, you can understand, but it takes lots of time to retain that information. Why? Because PSU audit is something not really also we do. Only C&AG, their employees will do PSU audits. Government audits something, not government company audits. Give a single reading if possibility is there, otherwise ignore. So internal audit, due diligence, investigation, forensic accounting. What are they? Due diligence, investigation, forensic accounting. If possible, these you can see. In forensic accounting only bit complex terminology is used. They talk about all forensic tools and all, which we have never used in our life. Getting it? For that, no, you can Google it. When you're reading, you can Google it and understand it, so that you will have a better retaining power. I think these standards, if at all these chapters for sure. And fifth chapter, I can say bank audit, NBFC audit. And if finally, if you still have time, group audit. These are the must chapters initially, especially up to this, up to 4th, whatever the topics I've listed. These 4 topics for sure will have 85 marks to 90 marks weightage. It may be in the form of MCQ or descriptive. Getting it? We don't know This pattern they follow only for descriptive or they for MCQ also. We don't know. If at all, if they apply a game like, okay, we tested 70 marks descriptive these chapters, remaining all chapters MCQs. We don't know. So as a precautionary note, understand and give a single reading of entire syllabus. That's a single reading. You need not repeat, revise, remember, no need. Give a single reading and understand the implications. MCQs you can answer solidly. Getting it? Try to score 25 plus in MCQ, descriptive 35 plus on the both. If you are getting 35 plus in descriptive, I'm more than enough, I'm telling. Getting it? Now to get 35 marks, how many you have to write descriptive? 50 to 55 marks if you attempt, that's more than enough. Getting it? I'm talking about exemption. Those of you who only planned for 40, that's your choice. This is exemption plan. Getting it? Now within the standards, don't take any standard choice. We don't know. You see, MTP 402 is tested. Yes or no? 402 many would have taken as choice. Every attempt they're testing 402. Once in 2 attempts they're testing 402. Because no, see, it is not that examiner also check last attempt 402 tested. Now we should not test. No such. Getting it? There is no such. When he is reading, whatever he feels this is challenging, he'll ask. His mindset decides what he'll ask. Not trend analysis, nothing. Fine, clear on this? So in this order only you go. For a safest preparation and completions, go in the same order of learning. Revising later on. First finish all the standards. Then ethics. If not, ulta. First finish ethics perfectly. Every corner you study. Council guidelines, no clerk, everything you study. Don't ignore. Even self-regulatory measures also you have to study. In ethics, self-regulatory measures were there. You have to study that. Complete all that. 20 marks of the paper is with you. Perfectly you should write. Then standards you study. Another 60 marks with you. Getting it? Even if you sit and study, if at all I am in your position, if I have this clarity, I will only study these 2 chapters and go. I will not touch anything else. And I will go and write 70 marks and come and qualify with 55 plus for sure. 60 plus on that, I'm bonus. 55 plus, I'm damn sure I can get by just studying these 2 chapters. And I will not worry about remaining chapters. When I am doing this strategy, I will not. What if a question? Obviously, question will come. Do you think question will not come from every chapter? Every chapter question will be there. I bet, I challenge you, check. Either MCQ or something will be there. I'm not bothered about what I'm not attempting. I'm bothered about what I'm attempting. I want 55 plus, that's it. If at all I want 80 plus mark, that's a different strategy. But my objective is 55 plus. Those of you who are having 55 plus objective, this is a very safe strategy. Clear? And if you want exemption or if you want 70 plus, 80 plus, 90 plus in audit, don't look at this video. That's it. Clear?